All right, thanks, Gabriella. And tonight, the father of a little boy who was murdered is now sharing his family's heart-wrenching story with us.
Right, Lisa. Since early yesterday morning, we've been bringing you the latest details of what happened in this horrific story. Eight-year-old Mark Mason was murdered. As the case unraveled, police say the mother's boyfriend, I should say, who'd been out of prison for 3 months, stabbed Mark to death. The family just beginning to process what happened. We have Team 11 coverage, including an expert who helps families cope with such tragic events. First, we want to get to Amy Marcinkowitz, who spoke with Mark's father today. And Amy, it's really hard to even imagine what they are going through.
Yeah, that's true, David. It really only has been 48 hours since this young boy was killed, violently stabbed. This dad is actually speaking out because he wants everyone to remember him as a smart, very funny kid and not a victim. Mark Mason never thought he would be sitting down with us talking about his 8-year-old son's murder. Marky stabbed multiple times Monday night, police say by his mother's boyfriend, Keith Burley. The last thing this dad said to his oldest son before Mark and his younger brother left for their moms was, "I love you." A few hours later, his child was gone.
He was my life. I keep getting choked up every time I talk like this.
This family, this community still can't wrap its mind around why someone would or could kill a child. But this dad says if his younger son, who saw it all, wouldn't have gone for help, he'd be planning 2 funerals.
If he wouldn't have ran, I believe he would have killed both my boys.
Just take a look at all the pictures Dad showed us of his oldest son, his comical faces, his funny poses. He says Mark was so smart. As he grieves one child, he holds the other tight. Thankful he ran and got help.
I seen footage this afternoon, a little bit ago, of him running through a yard with his slippers in his hands. But he made it. He made it. And he's here with me.
That's right, his younger son actually ran, he told me, about a half a mile to get help. Tonight, the family, friends of the family, have set up a GoFundMe account just to help with funeral expenses and to help with any type of therapies for that other little boy or the other family members as they cope with this situation down the road. We have all that information linked on our Facebook page and at WPXI.com. Reporting live, Amy Marcinkowitz, Channel 11 News.
Amy, this is a tough story. Even a day later, it's hard to even fathom how someone could stab that little 8-year-old boy. Thank you for your reporting there. And our Team 11 coverage continues with Erin Clark. She's joining us live now after talking to counselors about the impact a horrific incident like this could have on families. Erin?
Lisa, those professionals say that those children could be reacting with behaviors on either end of the spectrum. They say that they might seem surprisingly okay, or they could be acting out. What's important is to realize that both of those type of behaviors are symptoms of trauma and where help can be found.
8-year-old Mark Mason's 7-year-old brother and 2 other children saw him stabbed to death, a trauma those children are still processing.
They could be experiencing all the emotions that they felt in that moment, or they could really be very numb.
At the Center for Victims in Pittsburgh, professionals deal with these type of situations every day.
Unfortunately, we see too much of this.
And say it's most important now for people close to those children to pay careful attention to changes in their behavior, even those that seem a little too normal.
We pay attention to the children who are what I call actor-outers. Like, they're going to show their symptoms, right? But being too good and being too well adjusted is also a symptom.
Free help from counseling to advocates accompanying victims through the court system is available. And state law requires police to tell victims and their families where to get it. But it's up to the individual to seek that help, which could be hard for the family involved in Monday's tragedy.
And the mom, too, is traumatized. So she's not going to be necessarily the best person or the best equipped.
Leaning on support from others is ever so necessary to guide everyone involved to their new normal.
We work really hard to never act like the murder never happened. What we talk about is how do you move forward with your memories, both good and bad.
And we're going to have links to organizations that can help both in Lawrence County and Allegheny County. Those are on our website, wpxi.com. Reporting live tonight, I'm Erin Clark, Channel 11 News.